Hello fellow human, hope you guys have a great day and let's read some r/idontworkherelady stories. To the first one. I don't work here, I'm a passenger as well. Just so you know, this isn't a story of a Karen, it's quite wholesome. In 2016, I went on a cruise with 3 friends. We were all like 20s, which made us stick out. The cruise line we chose is designed for older people and families, so being very young and not having parent with us was very noticeable. So anyway, every night there's this thing called Movie Under the Stars, where you could go to the top deck and there's a movie playing outside. On this deck was also a burger stand, a pizza stand, and a bar, which was pretty cool. So, my friends and I go up for the movie, and they decide to get us some good deck chairs. I go over to the burger stand to get all of us some food. I bring the food to my friends, put my food on my deck chair, and then start walking to the bar for a drink. I walk maybe 5 meters and this little old Asian woman sitting on her own at a table grabs my arms as I walk past. Woman in a very heavy accent. I would like a Coke. Me, excuse me? Woman, can you get me a Coke? Me, woman, thank you, sweetheart. I kinda turn to my friends who are witness to all of this, really confused. I start walking to the bar again. As I'm walking, I flag down a server. This deck always had like 6 servers walking around to get you a drink if you wanted one. I pointed the woman out and say she'd like a Coke. The server goes to tend to her. I get my drink and then go sit down. In hindsight, bringing food to my friends and being quite young confused this little old lady to think I was a server. She wasn't rude or mean, it just makes for a cute, funny story. But still, even if you were working, nobody should be grabbing you to get your attention. The second story. Do you know who I am? Nope, I don't. So I live out on an acreage, and during the spring, our ditch that lets water out of our yard plugs up with the snow. We have a wheel loader and an excavator to deal with these issues. It should also be said that we have the exact same excavator as our local rural municipality. The story. We were working in the ditch with the excavator unplugging the ditch, the base of the excavator was sitting on the road, and the boom was reaching down into the ditch. I was sitting in the cab when a blank pickup truck rolled up with the orange flashing lights and the RM logos all over it. The guy inside proceeded to walk around the back of the machine and come over to the cab, rip the door open, smashing it against the side of the machine and breaking the main windows. He then yelled, "What do you think you're doing?" right in my face. I replied with, working in our ditch. He then asked, "Do you know who I am? I could have your job for this." It was at this point I realized he thought that I worked for the RM. I replied back to him pointing where the RM decal is on their excavator, and it isn't there on our excavator. He looked and saw it was missing the decal and then looked at me, then my dad standing in a ditch. Then he realized that we didn't work for the RM. He then shuffled back to his truck, looking very embarrassed about the situation. We got an email that the RM will replace the glass and an apology letter from the guy. In the end, we put our own decals on our excavator so this cannot happen again. When somebody asks you, "Do you know who I am?" you should immediately yell out like, "Oi, this one doesn't know their own name." The third story. I don't serve coffee and you're paying for the laptop. This happened back in 2013. The Nursing Council in my country organizes an annual 3-day convention in order to keep us updated to the new developments about our profession. It's not mandatory, but it gathers a lot of people for 2 reasons. First, you can present a paper or research you worked and be considered published, and second, because they do it in a different city every year and it's a good way for a vacation. It usually takes place around the middle of May. Important information. Tourist season in my country begins in April. For about 2 years, the nurses in the company I worked for had combined forces to write paper about training and educating patients. I was the unlucky sod that had to do the presentation. We apply and they give us a spot early on the first day. The convention is held in a very touristy city in a 5-star hotel. I'm staying in another cheaper, like 100 euros per night cheaper hotel. I go in wearing my dark blue business suit and a tie carrying my laptop. I do the presentation, everything goes well, and afterwards I find a classmate of mine from nursing school and decided to grab a coffee. Because she wants to catch a presentation later on, we decided not to leave the hotel and go to the patio where they had a cafe. We are on the patio, catching up and enjoying our coffee in the sun and generally having a good time. The patio was almost full at that point, mostly with student nurses and people from the convention. The cafe's staff is busy, with all the people there. At some point, my friend excuses herself to visit the bathroom and I check my phone. Suddenly, I feel someone looming over me. And then I hear a high-pitched, "Excuse me." I turn my head to see a slightly pissed woman staring daggers at me. She looks like a prototypical Karen. The haircut, the expensive clothes that look cheap, and the attitude. Karen: "Me and my friends are waiting for someone to take our order for 5 minutes." She pointed a couple of tables over where a couple of women in the same subcategory are sitting. Me, so? I asked, confused. Karen: "So get off your break and come take our order." Me, I don't think so. You have to wait for one of the servers. I don't work for the wHo. Karen, leaning towards and getting in my face. "Listen up, you peon. We're paying customers, and you are going to do as you're told. Break is over." And with that, she sweeps her arms on the table, spilling the coffee and glasses of water on me, but mostly on the laptop I had next to the table. At that point, I am furious. I get up and there is a noticeable size difference. I'm 6'4", 225 pounds, like she is like maybe 5'6" on 3-inch heels. Me, "Listen up, you little tramp. I don't work here, and even if I did, I wouldn't serve people with your attitude. And if something happened to the laptop, you're paying for it." Karen: "You dare to threaten me? Do you know who I am?" Me, "No, and I don't give a crap. You're just an entitled tramp." At that point, a lot of people were looking at us and a server was coming over. The server were dressed in black pants, a white shirt, and a black apron. And Karen decided to try to slap me. I caught her hand as the server came next to us. Server, what is happening here? Karen: "Your colleague is refusing to take our order and is threatening me." Server, taking a look at me. Madam, this man doesn't work here. He is a customer." Apparently, her little brain couldn't compute because she continued foaming until a manager and security appeared. When the manager asked what happened, I replied, "Well, this woman insulted me, deliberately dropped coffee on me and my personal belongings and tried to attack me. I would like to press charges." The implication of getting the police involved to another rant by Karen. How it was discriminating against foreign tourists, and how she would sue me, and hotel, and how we should respect our betters. You know, lovely stuff. The aftermath was that I pressed charges and Karen was kicked out of the hotel. I don't know what happened to the rest of her clique. The laptop was ruined, the back zippers was slightly open, and all the coffee poured directly onto the laptop. The hotel offered me a full paid weekend reservation at the time of my choosing. And about a year later, I received a hefty settlement for the incident, about like 3,500 euros. Well, I don't know who you are, Karen, but I know what you are. On to the fourth story. Do you work here? This just happened last week and I've been excited to share it here. I had just gotten off work at a large retail store and was doing a bit of personal shopping. Karen, you know her. RG, random guy, no uniform, gangster attire, very obviously not an employee. Karen pushes past me, huffing and puffing like they do. Karen, "Hey, do you work here?" Oh crap, I'm not in the mood for this. It has been a long day. I turn around and she has her back to me, pointing at RG, who is obviously lost as well. Random guy, "Me? No, do you work here?" Karen, "I ask you that." RG, "But do you work here?" Karen, "Obviously not. You shouldn't be rude to customers. This is why nobody likes you people." She spins around and pushes past me again, muttering loudly, "The service here is horrible." Once she gets a few aisles away, I approach RG. Me, "Hey man, that was awesome." RG, "Yeah, that tramp was rude as hell." Me, "I actually do work here, but I'm off the clock. Can I help you find something?" RG, "Yeah, actually, I'm trying to fix this, but I have no idea what I'm doing." I give him some advice, tell him to where to find the stuff he needs, and make sure he knows where to get the other things on his list. RG, "Oh, thanks, dawg. I could have been here all day and probably screwed it when I got home." Me, "No problem. Thanks for making my day. I'm totally posting this on the internet. We laugh and I get to go home in a good mood. Karen, however, is likely to have a bad day every day. Oh man, Karen be like pushes past an actual employee to get to a customer and ask him, "Do you work here?" Oh, that is sad. The fifth story. Lady, I work for the police, not Target. I want to share a story. Few years back, I worked as a police dispatcher. We were required to dress in business casual, so khakis and a button-down or polo. I'm assuming you've read the title and see where this is going. So after work one day, my girlfriend and I stopped by a Target on the way home to grab a few things. I'm wearing, you guessed it, a red polo with khaki pants. I also have an ID badge on my belt denoting Communicator wHo Police Department. Grabbed some olive oil, brought to my girlfriend who told me she got some a few days ago, so I go back to olive oil aisles and put it back. I put it back in its proper place because I'm not an inconsiderate a-hole. Anywho, lady comes up to me and asks where she can find some brand dog food. I just thought she was asking for my opinion and gave her a general direction. She went off, and like 5 minutes later, I'm looking at Harry's erasers and I feel someone poke me on my shoulder. I turn and find a lady standing there looking displeased. Lady, my dog food wasn't where you said it was. Me, well, I don't know. I guess ask someone who works here. Lady, I am. You. Me, nope, don't work here. Turns and look away. Oh, yes you do. You were stocking the shelves. Me? Yeah, don't talk to me. Lady grabs my arm and pulls me to face her. You ever get a sudden flare of anger? I did. This tramp touched me. Lady, young man, I'm a customer and you'd better. Me, oh don't you ducking touch me. My voice was a little raised now. Touch me again and you and I are going to have a problem. She was obviously taken aback. She said something about me being fired and a manager. She scurried away and I found my girlfriend and we went to the checkout. At this point, I still hadn't really clicked that she thought I worked here. I just thought she was rude. We get to the self-checkout and a lady with a Target employee approached me and my girlfriend. Lady, well that's him. That is your stock boy whom threatened me. Me, WTF? I don't work here, lady. Leave me the dog alone. Manager, looking nonplussed. You don't work here? Me, nope, and this chick start bothering me and then grabbed me. Girlfriend, he doesn't work here. Lady, oh don't you lie to me. You were stocking shelves and told me where to get the dog food. Me, leave me alone or we're gonna have real problems. Lady, how about I call the police and tell them you just threatened me? Me, oh I ducking dare you. I show her my ID badge. Let's see how that works out for you. I should mention that the PD I worked for is in the same town as Target. The manager takes the opportunity and just says, "Have a nice evening," and motions the woman away, and she follows. She just sort of gaped at me when she saw that I was in fact not an employee of Target, but of the police department she was going to call on me. Not a big story with fireworks, but still one to tell. Moral: beware wearing red polos and stay thirsty, my friends. I don't understand why people just assume people are lying when they say I don't work here. What does an employee gain by lying? On to the sixth story. Sorry bro, but I'm not a stripper. The city I live in is kinda known for its strip clubs. One of the clubs has a 4-star restaurant. I went with my boyfriend at the time and made the poor decision of wearing a short, cute dress. On my way back from tipping a girl in stage, a drunk gentleman rolls his chair in front of me. He asked me for a dance, which I tried to decline in the most understanding of ways. I guess he assumes I'm lying when I say that I don't work here? Because he grabs my wrist and tries to pull me down onto his lap. Fortunately, this club has his bouncers on point because as soon as I yell, "Let me go," the guy gets a lurch hand on his shoulder and is led out to the door. Sorry, bruh. Even if you had worked there, it would have not been okay to have grabbed you. Absolutely out of line, and he deserved to be thrown out. The seventh story, entitled Drunk Tramp Gets Barred for Life from Every Local Pub in the Village. Backtrack about 4 years to when I was about to leave my small village to begin the roller coaster that would be in university. I had been working in a delightful pub for a couple of years the week before I left for my university. The owners of the establishment decided they would give me a lovely and yet rather expensive gift. This gift would be that on my last night in that pub, before leaving, I would be allowed to pour myself however many pins I wanted on the condition that I didn't serve any customers. I should probably mention that me and my mates used to frequent my pub when I was off work, as it always had a great atmosphere and friendly people. Anyways, as the night goes on, I drink more of my free pins, and I have to decline a few customers as I'm no longer employed by the pub. Nobody questions it until Karen. Oh, sweet Lord Almighty, not even Lucifer could put her on this earth. Not your typical run-of-the-mill soccer mom USA Karen, but your short hair, only 2 front teeth, stench of cigarettes, disappointment, and child support, which was spent on beer Karen. But she had been sat idly at the end of the bar, and me and the bartender on shift, we'll call him M, knew she was always a difficult customer. It gets to the end of the night, and M asks Karen to pay for her tab. Karenness ensues. Karen, why do I have to pay for my drinks? Opie hasn't paid for any of his. M, it was a gift from the owner as it was his last shift after 2 years and they wanted to say thanks and prepare for his liver for the university life. Karen, shocked Pikachu faced. I've been a customer here for so much longer. Why have I never got a reward like that? Me, already a little wavy from the various pins. Karen, I don't work here anymore and I can finally tell you, nobody here ducking likes you and feels sorry for your daughter who you drag here with whenever she's not with her father. Karen and M, shocked Pikachu faces. Karen, I'll get you fired. Do you know who I am? The owner is my best friend and you'll never work in here or any pub in the village again. M has just seen the perfect opportunity to strike back at Karen and says, is that right? Owner is upstairs. Do you want me to let him know? Karen, yes. She smirks at me as M go upstairs to let the owners know there's a complaint from a customer. Owner comes down the stairs and the first thing he says as he sees Karen at the bar is that, oh, for duck's sake. Instantly as she hears this Karen begins yelling a string of obscenities at the owner, M and myself. Bear in mind the pub isn't empty, only last orders have gone so there's still a lot of locals relaxing and drinking. The Karen asks to pay up and leave. She refuses and threw her pint glass at the owner and is instantly restrained by a few other locals and escorted out. Word travels fast around our little side of town, so within 2 days, she was barred from all 6 pubs and was reported to the police for not paying multiple tabs all over town, accumulating to around like £1,300 for a 3-week period. Last I heard, the time I visited my old hometown a few years ago, she had lost her custody of her daughter, and the father now had full custody and moved away. Thank God he was always polite and a respectable man. Well, thank goodness for the daughter being able to escape this entitled mother. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.